Hello and assalamu alaikum to my mindful community all across the globe. I am so super excited today. Why? Because one Paul is now today with us live for the entire community here in Pakistan that Mentoring Hub has developed over the years, and also because you guys know you guys are special family to us, so that's one bit of excitement. But the other, why? Because my team, yes, my support members who are with me every day, every time with my crazy idea, when I pin them in and say, well, I think we should wake up and be doing this, and these girls that I have on my team are superbly supportive, very encouraging, letting me know every single time that yes, let's do it. So these guys have joined us today, and they're going to be joining us, also me and Paul, myself, so that we can implore how you now can attain the entrepreneurial mindset. That is most important. And I'm sure आप सब लोगों के यही सवाल थे जब हमने over this पूरा महीना हमने क्या किया, यही किया, हम कम्युनिटीज़ में आए। परवरिश का बहुत शुक्रिया, द लीड्स एट परवरिश, थैंक यू सो मच। आप लोगों ने अपनी कम्युनिटी का हिस्सा हमें बनने दिया और आने दिया, अवेयरनेस फैलाने दी, बहुत शुक्रिया। उसके साथ साथ लर्निंग लैब का बहुत शुक्रिया कि आप लोगों ने भी इस इनिशिएटिव को वेलकम किया। सो वी आर वेरी थैंकफुल टू ऑल ऑफ दीज एक्सक्लूसिव कम्युनिटी लीड्स एंड द कम्युनिटी मेंबर्स, और आप सब लोग, क्योंकि आप सब लोगों ने बहुत पेशेंस के साथ इस नए कॉन्सेप्ट को और हमारी इस नई कोशिश को बहुत रिस्पेक्ट और बहुत इंकरेजमेंट भी दी, तो आप लोगों का बहुत शुक्रिया। उसके साथ साथ नेशनल इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर पाकिस्तान का बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया, स्पेशली द वन इन कराची, NIC कराची। आवर मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन एंड टेक्नोलॉजी से पावर्ड है, आप सबको पता है, इग्नाइट से पावर्ड है, जो कि बहुत ही रिस्पेक्टफुल इंस्टीट्यूशन है हमारे लिए। उन लोगों के साथ भी हम कल थे कम्युनिटी में, तो इट वाज वेरी एक्साइटिंग। सो आप सब लोगों का बहुत शुक्रिया, क्योंकि ये एक नया कॉन्सेप्ट, एक इनोवेटिव पैराडाइम है जिसको हम लेकर आए, और आप लोगों की तरफ से सपोर्ट और इंकरेजमेंट मिल गई, तो समझे सब अच्छा हो गया। सो दैट्स वन बिट ऑफ माई एक्साइटमेंट। बहुत सारी और चीज़ें हैं, बातें भी आज बड़ी सारी हैं, लेकिन आप लोगों के सवाल कुछ इन पिछले हफ्तों में ये रहे हैं, कैसे हम ये माइंडसेट acquire करें। How do we acquire the mindset, Zora? You've been asking me these questions, putting us your messages in the inboxes, saying, what do we do to get the mindset? Well, we have Paul today with us, and we're exactly going to be sharing what essentials we've decided that we're going to bring through to you guys. And so I'm going to add my members one by one, and then we'll have Paul join us. Hello, Wajiha. Hi, Asma.
Hello, Zora.
Hello. Hi, Almas. How are you?
Hello, Zora. I'm fine. How are you?
Great. Thank you so much, guys, for being online. My Powerpuff girls. Thank you so much for all your support. Let's have Paul join us. Hi, Paul.
Hi, Zora. Hi, everybody in the team. It's great to see you.
Same here.
Hello, Paul.
Hello, Paul.
Hi. How is everybody today?
Great.
It's a great Friday.
Yes.
It's a great Friday.
And it just gets better.
Yes, it does. It does. So, Paul, as I said, whilst I was introducing the bit and trying to start off the program, I wouldn't want to take too much of the time or the screen time today, because these girls are here and you're here, the powerhouse yourself. Thank you so much for trusting us, Mentoring Hub, with the concept, and also the fact that we could further the mission of the Entrepreneurial Mindset Network. It does mean a million to us, Paul. Before we begin, would you also, Paul, share with us how has been this month, this first time that you were able to penetrate via these small sessions that we had? How do you feel, Paul, now today by the end of this month?
I feel great. It's so good to work with you, Zora, and your team. And it's a really great partnership that we have. And I think that what we have proven to ourselves over this past month is that there is a real interest in the entrepreneurial mindset, and that in the many communities that you support, people want to know what the mindset is, They want to find out a little bit more about it. They're interested in how can they develop it, and they are reaching out to the support that we can give them. So I think it's been a really exciting month because we've met so many people. We've had so much interest, and we've had so much great feedback from people as well, and really great questions. So when people have had the chance to send in their questions and ask us to answer those questions, we've had some really great questions and people who are really interested in what's the mindset, how do I get it, and how do I get it soon?
Yeah, true that. And I would also like to share this bit. I've shared this with my team as well. It has been as insightful and as awakening for me as it must have been for you. And that might sound strange because I hail from the same community, Paul. But then when you get a chance to be on that end once again, trying to come up with a paradigm, come with a concept, and then go into the community again, I feel my team would agree as well that it's just another feeling altogether. So it's been very insightful for me as well. I'm not going to do too much speaking today. I try and do that. And one other thing. Thank you, Zarish and Serish, for joining us. Walaikum assalam. हो सकता है कि हम आप लोगों के सारे comments ना ले सके. We might not be able to take all of the comments because of the kind of time lapse that we're in, but we'll try to adjust as many as we can, inshallah. So thank you so much for your patience. Without any further ado, these girls have questions, Paul.
Okay.
Let's see if we can.
All right, I'll see if I can answer them.
Let's see, because they've been watching and they've been listening in. So when we got in touch last night, and I said, "Well, girls, would you have questions?" And they're like, "Yeah, I do. I have one." So we have three different questions in terms of the mindset. How about Asma? We start from you. Would you like to go first, Asma?
Yeah. Great. So Paul, exactly what you had just mentioned, that people have been asking in terms of what the real mindset is and how that can be achieved. So my question is actually directed exactly in that same manner. You coming to Pakistan and bringing this this entire mindset, the entrepreneurial mindset, and what it would really entail for people of Pakistan. What do you really envision to bring in Pakistan, and how do you see that impacting the people of Pakistan, considering that we are coming from a third world country, we're still developing, we're still growing, we're going through our regular day-to-day domestic issues that still pull us down on a day-to-day basis. Whether it's a businessman, whether it's a traditional person who's running a shop over here, they all go through those problems and they all go through the same issues. So how do you really bring that mindset where people stay positive and people stay connected and still bring that impact onto the economy?
Yeah, they're really good set of questions. I think the first thing to say is that this definition of the mindset is relevant to everybody. Zora knows quite well that in the network that I run, we have members from 84 countries. And that means that this concept has to be relevant to all those different locations, to all those different cultures. And it has to be expressed in a way which is quite easy to understand and quick to be able to remember. So I think the first thing I would say to people is that this isn't something really complicated. It's not something that only works in one country or in one culture. This is something which Zora and I, through the conversations we've had with people recently, I think have just felt so excited that as we've explained the idea, people have been really excited about it. The feedback has been that they understand it, they feel that it's relevant to them, and that it speaks to the issues that they have. I think this is so important that not only does it speak to the issues of the country of Pakistan, but it speaks to the different communities within Pakistan. And more than that, it speaks to the individual. So it says to you, this is about you, your issues, the things that are important to you. And I think the mindset is quite clever in the way that it adapts and can be adapted to each person. So each of us on the call today, we could all use the mindset, but it would bring different things to each of us because it would help us to address the particular needs that we have. And that might be something for us as an individual. It could be something within our family. It could be something about the street where we live or the community that we live in. It works in all those different ways. So I would say to people, this is something which can be genuinely exciting and can have an impact very, very quickly.
Okay, that sounds good. Paul, would it be possible to sort of give a very short, small example of how two different communities have been impacted, so people can sort of also understand in terms of how you tweak for different communities in different locations and different areas?
Yeah, I think that's another good question. I mean, there are so many different types of people that we deal with, and they're in different situations. So, for example, I think the thing to say about it is that what Laura and I are really interested in is what's the best way to support each group of people or each individual. So, for example, some people we know would like to read a book. Not everybody wants to read about the mindset, but some people want a book, and some people want a printed copy. Some people don't want a printed copy, they want an electronic version. Some people want a version that is just text. Other people want an electronic book that has video in it and exercises that they can complete. And we're trying to understand what are the different ways that people would like to learn about the mindset. Now, some people want to read a book. Some people want to take online classes. And Zora and I were involved in a series of classes that took place last summer, and they were very successful, and people got a lot out of it. But again, online classes are not for everyone. And so Zora and I have been talking about the idea that we might start to publish a magazine, an online magazine that people could look at. It would have examples of people from the community talking about how they're using the mindset, how they're learning about it. We would have pictures of them, we would have videos, we would have short quizzes, and maybe that's how some people want to learn. So I think that the point I want to make is that each person wants to learn in their own way, and Zora and I are thinking about how could we provide these different learning opportunities. And I think that what's really great about what Mentoring Hub is doing is that it's giving the opportunity for people to come together online and have conversations with each other. And that, I think, is equally important, that we provide opportunities for people to talk to each other, to ask questions, to ask the silliest question, to ask the question where you think, should I ask this? Ask anything you like. No question is a stupid question. And what we will do is we'll do our best to answer your questions. And I think the great idea behind a network like my own or Mentoring Hub is that we're really interested in lifting everybody up. This isn't just for some people, it's for everybody. And what we want to try and do is find the place for each and every person who's listening today so that they can benefit from these ideas.
Super. Yeah, I think that's
Sounds very
I would also like to share again with the community here that I hadn't been able to share over this month, Paul, my feedback in terms of my experience on the course with you, and so much so that as I spoke to my team, and I say the same when I spoke to my community, that it did kind of flip my mind in one sense of the word, because me being a part of the community where I popularly knew the fact that, okay, an entrepreneur has a certain paradigm of thought and has a certain mindset, and maybe it's just their mind which is the mindset. But no, it became something else when I joined into the course, and it really opened my brain to another horizon where I wasn't really thinking, knowing these entrepreneurial mindset essentials, and especially the mnemonic that you speak about so brilliantly, are behaviors and patterns that we
Yeah.
all can mimic. And I also believe strongly, Paul, that it's only with time and recognition that they exist as behaviors would we ever be able to mimic them. Don't you think so? I felt
Yeah,
that very strongly.
I think you're absolutely right. I mean, what we want to say to people is that we can look at entrepreneurs and we can think to ourselves, why are they successful? And it's certain behaviors. Now, they weren't born with those behaviors. These are not gifts that they just have. They are behaviors that we can all learn to imitate. We can all learn to use in our lives. And similarly, then, we can use them for success. And the idea is that we can all take action. We can all do things to improve the situation that we're in, or that our family's in, or our community's in. The idea is that the mindset is not just a way of thinking. It has to be about action. And what I often say is that if you find yourself, people think this all the time. They think, why has nobody done something about this? This is a problem that needs fixing. Somebody should do something about this. We all have those thoughts, those ideas. It becomes entrepreneurial when you say, okay, I obviously think that's important. What am I going to do about it? And what am I going to do about it today? Not in a year's time, not next month. What could I do about it today? And often that can be something as simple as talking to somebody else and saying to them, I think this is really important. Do you agree with me? And you might well find that together you come up with ideas about how you could do something together. And it's in working together. I think that's also quite interesting, because sometimes I think people think the mindset, if it's about an entrepreneur, it's just about one person. It's just about them. It's just about them gaining something. This is not. This really is an idea about how we understand the needs of the people around us and how we work to help them and support other people.
Beautiful. Almas, would you want to do the honors to the next question that you had in store for Paul?
Yeah, sure. Hope you are good, Paul. Well, my question is relevant to my professional experience. Like, I'm being a person who has known my professional careers after a gap of some years. So I would like to ask that how this mindset add value to my building up professional career again, to getting started and to build up for professional progress.
Yeah, I think again, it's a really great question. So, of course, we think about an entrepreneur as somebody who owns and runs their own business.
Yes.
And clearly, the mindset is important to those people. But it's equally important for people who are employees and who are either starting or building their career. You know, employers want to know that you understand good customer service, that you can come up with new ideas and new perspectives, that you could dare to put forward some new ideas, even if you think, you know, how are people going to react? You would have that confidence to say, I think this could be a good option for us as a team, as an organization. And I think employers are also looking for people who, and this is not easy, people who can really improve their productivity, because it's difficult for all of us to have a good work-life balance. There's so many things for us to do at work and at home. And I think particularly in the pandemic, this has really been brought home to all of us, because it's difficult to run your life and it's difficult to run work. But if they're both happening in the same location because of lockdowns, it really is tough for people, and people have found that very tough. So
Yes.
we need to know how to be more productive, how to manage all those different things. And as I said before about the entrepreneurial moment, when you say to yourself, what am I going to do? Employers really need people who will take the initiative, who will say, I've had this idea, I'm going to put this into action. And employers will reward those behaviors. They will say, yeah, we want to give you a job. Yes, we want to keep you. Yes, we want to promote you. Yes, we want to ask you to make a bigger contribution. So the mindset, I think, is about, it brings success to you, it brings success to your team, and it brings success to your organization. And when those things are working well together, that means success for the community and success for the country as well, because everybody is being lifted up.
Great.
Yeah.
Does that satisfy
Great.
you, Almas, in terms of your question?
Yeah, quite very well. Thank you, Paul. I am very much satisfied that you have given the value about mindset. How can I can be implemented in my professional career? Again, starting up after some gap and so on. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
it's a pleasure. Yeah, thank you.
So thank you, Paul, and thank you, Almas. We have Hina Fatma also joining us. She's based in the US, if I'm not wrong, California. So this is fairly early for her, and I had her message me in that she's setting an alarm to the program. Thank you, Hina. Means a million to me and my team, and also Paul, I'm sure,
Yeah.
for having joined us. Well, I feel Wajia's being quiet, but she has something in her mind. See, she's
Yes.
smiling now. So how about you
Right.
take over to Paul? Yeah.
Okay, Paul, actually, my question is related to education sector because I am working in education sector, and we all know that academia has also been one of the most hard hit spot post pandemic. And I think you all will agree when I say that this new normal is the only normal. And we in Pakistan are still facing a lot of challenges in this sector because we had to not only switch to e-learning totally, but we had to devise new techniques, to new teaching techniques for our students as well. So, being said that, since the mindset to what I understood is encouraging us to mimic entrepreneurial behavior, what do you think I, as a teacher or any other teacher, could benefit from it if we adapt to or learn mindset?
Wow.
Yeah, great questions again. I think that if we take the view that the mindset is about giving somebody independence and empowering them and enabling them to make their way in life, if we think that that's what it can do, then of course this is a concept that is at the heart of education. We may never have used the words entrepreneurial mindset, but that is exactly what what educators have always been trying to do with their students. They try to give them the right knowledge, the right skills, and the right mindset. Now, it's very interesting because I've been working on entrepreneurial mindset for probably about 10 years now, but I can look back now into my childhood and think, oh, that thing you did when you were young, that was entrepreneurial. I'd never heard the word when I was young. I had no idea what it meant. And I think that's another thing to say to people, that don't imagine that this is something completely different from how you live your life now. To me, what it is a framework which allows you to see all the common sense things that you know. You already know a lot of this, but to see it in a new way, in a way which allows you to say, I can do this. You know, I can make these changes. I can cope with all the uncertainties that life is throwing at me at the moment. I can feel more confident about that, and also I can be clear about what I want to achieve in life and how to achieve it. Now, they are central ideas to education, aren't they? Whether we are educating school children or young people at university, or any of us who are continuing our lifelong learning. I'd often say to Zora, you know, you can be 4, you can be 94, all of those ages, you can improve your understanding of the mindset, the use of the mindset, and make use of it. And all over the world, I've worked with many educators in many different countries. And I would say to you that if this is something that you want to understand as an educator, there are so many people around the world who can help you, because they have been on this journey. They've tried to understand how to make this a success, and they're teaching school children, they're teaching college children, they're teaching university graduates, and they're teaching adults as well who want to know about this. So I would say to you, please, yes, decide that this is something that you want to do, and there are many ways in which you can find support to make this happen. And what we need is people who will leave the education process believing that they can make a contribution to the world, not just economic, but socially, culturally, even if they happen to be an artist or a designer. There is so many ways, and what we want to convince young people is that they can make a contribution, that what they do counts, and that they can even get involved in some of the really big issues like climate change if they choose to. So I hope that the mindset is really aligned with the best values of education.
Thank you so much, Paul, and I'm looking forward to your support. And thank you so much for your insight. And I'm sure that together we are going to come up with solutions to many of our problems, inshallah.
Yeah, I think you can, and I think in some senses, you said that Pakistan might be further behind in some of its development. Sometimes that's an advantage, actually, because you can avoid all the mistakes that other people have been making, and you can leapfrog past that.
That's spot on. Yeah, exactly.
So you don't have to get stuck with all the mistakes everybody else has been making. You can go, okay, well, now we can look around and see the best ideas that people have had, and we can decide, are they relevant to us? I think the other thing is to really do believe this, that people could learn from your experience. I have learned, the pleasure for me of working with Zora is I have learned so much through this partnership and through our collaboration. You have things to teach other people in the world. Pakistan has things to teach other countries in the world. Please don't believe that it's just about seeing what other people are doing. It is about the things that you do yourselves, and it is about other people having the opportunity and the honor to learn from what you do.
Wow. That's superb. It brings me to another thought that I would want to add and also share with Almas, Asma, and Wajiha, and also the community, Paul, which is this exact freedom that you sense when you see Paul speaking about the mindset, and that you feel whilst you're going through the course or going through that module, that it sets you free here. And I think I said that even yesterday, Paul. I took the liberty when we were with NIC and the community yesterday, that it has set me free from here. How? Because then you're not somebody who would have shackles of one way, any one mindset. It's a mindset that keeps adapting, taking turns, and it's beautiful in that sense of the word. Yeah, so I superbly think that yes, this is something that would go in synchrony, but only, yes, as Paul said, if we choose to, which means that we have to mindfully recognize the fact that yes, there's a need, and stop saying that we don't need anything, and that, as Paul says generally, that we need to learn every day, and learning never stops. Without anything else, any other further ado, Paul, I would request you kindly to share the current formats of this certification and course that are already being offered by the Mindset Network internationally. Please, if you might, with the community.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. What we have devised is you can either enroll on a live facilitated course like this. Now that tends to be booked by a company or a university or a college. So they tend to book that either for their students or for groups of staff. What we also have is the ability to study at your own pace. And that means that you can go online, watch videos, read articles, take quizzes, look at self-reflection exercises, and get feedback, and you study in your own time. Now, what we're working on at the moment, and I'm excited to tell you about, is that we developed some quite long courses last summer. And Zora, you were one of the people who took the course, and we've learned from all the feedback that people have been giving us. And we'll be launching in March and April some shorter courses which are less expensive. And I think that this is really important, that we want to try and make sure that everybody has access to these learning materials. So therefore, price is really important, and we need to make sure that the courses that we make available are at a good price. It's like the book, you know, to produce a printed version of a book that somebody can buy, that's quite expensive. So what we're looking at is making that book available online, and then we can make it available in a cheaper way to people, so it's less expensive. And I think similarly, what we've been learning about the courses is that I think about 2 hours of learning materials is about right. So when we do a live course, 2 hours feels about right. People give really good feedback. I had some great feedback from people this morning from a course that I did recently for people at a university in Liverpool in the UK, and the feedback was fantastic. And it's a 2 hour course. And I think our new self-directed courses, they're going to be about 2 hours of learning material as well. And I think what it says, which is also quite exciting, is that you can learn this in 2 hours. You don't need to take, you know, a year or three years to learn this. You could learn it in 2 hours, and you could start to use it straight away. So I actually think that's a good thing, that we can come up with a course which is, you know, in 2 hours you can really get the basics of this. And what we're also developing, and I'm sure this will be of interest, is a 2 hour introductory course where you get, okay, this is the mindset, now I'm going to be able to do something. And then some specialist courses, another 2 hours. What does it mean for universities and higher education? What does it mean if you're running your own business? What if it is a social enterprise that you want to run, and a charity? So we'll bring in those specialist courses for people who really want to concentrate on particular themes. But the new courses will launch within a matter of weeks, I think. And I'm sure we'll be able to share that with all the people in the community so that they have the opportunity to see what we're offering. And as I say, we're trying to make it a really good price and make sure that everybody has the opportunity to purchase. And if somebody else is thinking, well, okay, I don't really want to do an online course, but I quite like to read a little magazine about this, then Zora and I are also working on that idea. And, you know, again, we want the opportunity for people to buy one magazine if that's what they can afford, and that's what they want to do. And for other people, we want to provide subscriptions. So for a good price, they can get a regular magazine rather than one-off. So all the time, we're trying to think, how do we support as many people as possible?
To get their hands on to the mindset. I have to add here just one little bit, Paul. Arbab Nasibullah Kasi, he's our International Board of the Experts partner from the University of Massachusetts. He's the director there. He's joined us. Thank you so much, Arbab. And he says, great, keep it up. Thank you, Arbab, for taking our time. And it's very, very early in the US. So everybody who's joining us.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you guys. And okay, so there are question marks already and exclamation marks, Paul, for us. 1 day, 2 hours course. Is it possible, Paul? Tell them.
Yes, it is. I'm convinced it is. Yeah, you know, we know it is, because we're already providing live facilitated 2 hour classes, and the feedback we're getting from that is exceptional. That people really get the concept. They see how they can use it straight away. They're very happy with the learning that they're doing. I mean, one thing we take very seriously is that we want the learning to be interesting. You know, we want it to be engaging. You know, so there's lots of little exercises and lots of videos to watch, and you know, it's a fun process. You know, it shouldn't be boring. And I think that hopefully what comes across in our conversation today is that once you start talking about the mindset, it's really energetic. There's an energy about it. You know, it's not Oh, well, I've developed this
I
course.
know, I know, I know the
It's
feeling.
not, it's not that. It's good,
Yeah,
high energy, interesting stuff that we can get excited about because,
I
you know, we become very excited about all the things that we can do. And Zara and I have endless ideas about how we can do things together.
You got that right, Paul. And thank you so much for giving us that insight and to the community of what's going to come forward. I would want to add a few feathers to the hat, though.
Great.
Where there is a masterclass format that my team knows that we've already been working at, and so does Paul. And we have promised the community to bring in special masterclasses via the mentoring hub with Paul specifically. And we had also requested Paul, which he was very which with a big heart he took it in, that we do them in phases. We do them with different groups of people, where we have the beginners, the ones who have no idea, and then we have this group of intermediate kind of a mindset people where they are okay to go, but then those advanced level people where they now just need those power tools, Paul, to just move
Yeah.
forward. So that's what we're going to be also doing, that we're going to be
Great.
announcing in master classes specifically for the community, and for you to know, for the people to know the fact that we'll take it into phases, small ones, yes. And as both Paul and I agree, and I'm sure everybody in the community, learners, teachers, instructors would agree, the fact that whenever we do bite size, that's more intriguing, as Paul said. It's more of an interesting. I would want to add, I love the polls, Paul. The polls
Oh, yeah,
online.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
I love them. They're so nice, and they're anonymous, guys. So you're at peace when you're responding. So at least the
Yeah.
message wouldn't know who's saying what, but
The
you could just
polls
leave
are
it in.
they're really interesting, aren't they? Because
Yes.
what you can do during to explain to people what you can do during the class is you can put up on the screen a quick question for people, and you can and everybody can vote. And what's really interesting is that you immediately see the results. So you
Yes.
see, okay, well, most people have chosen option C, and it is fascinating, isn't it?
It
So,
was, yeah.
you know, I think using the technology to the maximum and making it as engaging as possible, it's really important, because, you know, the point is that the class is for everybody in the class. It's for everybody to participate, for everybody to get something out of it. And often, you know, it's so important to me that, particularly if we're running a class for, say, 10 or 15 people, that everybody gets to speak, everybody gets to share their opinion and their experience. I just think this is so important.
Wow, that's great. And we already have questions popping in. When are we starting? Nikat Fatma, thank you so much for the question, but we're going to share that in a little bit, which is over the next week, and probably start sharing with our dates and timelines on what we're
Yeah.
working at. But as of now, yes, this is what we have had in mind. Before we move towards wrapping up the show, Paul, any other last minute essentials that you feel the community, other than what you've been sharing time and again this month, should also be thinking about before enrolling for such a course?
Yeah, I think that the best thing that anybody could do would be to communicate to you, in whichever way they want to, what they want the course to do, what they would like it to be like, because we can adapt it to make sure that it meets their real needs. And I think this is so important. We don't want to provide a course where people are thinking, well, I don't really quite see how it's relevant to me, but maybe it's important. We don't want that. We want people to do their courses, to read the magazines, to read the book and think, wow, this is me. This is talking about my situation, and it's directly relevant to me. I see how it's relevant to me, and I see what I can do as a result of this. So if people send in questions, they say, you know, this is my situation, this is what I want to be able to do, we can make sure that any support we provide is really tailored to suit those people. And that's really important.
I'm so happy to know, and I'm so happy that we've been able to do this today finally, Paul, as of what we had assumed and worked at.
Yeah,
Thank you, team. Since the day we started and marked our calendars with Paul, this was the intention, and I hope, Paul, with all my sincere efforts and my team's efforts and time, that you felt that you now are a good part of our family, a good part of
absolutely.
Pakistan,
Yeah,
and that you've also seen those phases of ours where how we are internally, where are the gaps. I feel, Paul, we were fairly very nicely able to also look into gaps, weren't we, whilst we were going through communities, when
yeah.
we were speaking to different age groups. So I hope, Paul, that this month that we had decided would add value to your thought also for Pakistan has grown leaps and bounds, I'm sure.
I think it
And
has.
I
It
hope.
definitely has. Have you seen how much I've been smiling?
Oh yes, I know that. Maybe
There's
that's.
things,
But I'm so
things must be
happy,
good.
Paul, because it has it is something. It is. I always say this, Paul, and I may sound to some people redundant saying it again. It liberates you as a feeling in a behavior, as you say. The mindset sets you feeling mindful and liberated. When I say mindfulness, I feel so close to the concept of the mindset, because I feel that yes, mindfully is the way to be. So, guys, you guys have more questions or anything that you'd want to share with us or the community before we wrap up? Any one of you or all of you? Anything you'd like to say to Paul before we wrap up?
No, just that it was a wonderful session, and it was really nice to finally see Paul and talk to him face to face. And inshallah, in future also we'll be, you know, like I said before, we'll be sitting together and
I look forward to that.
talking
I
about
really do. Yeah,
solutions.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Sure. Thank
Yeah,
you,
it's a
Wajia.
pleasure
Asma?
to meet and to talk live with Paul and understand the different concepts of mindset and how a person can update her or himself through the mindset values. And I'm looking to forward for Paul for further courses and updations, and
Yeah.
especially the magazine which you
Yeah,
and Zora are working on.
yeah.
Great. That means we need to quick that bit up, Paul. There are going to be a lot more people waiting for the magazine now. Yeah. Asma, yes, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, really looking forward to how this entire curricula is really going to integrate with the actual learning, the practical learning, the academia, the magazines, and really serving to the community, because someone who's coming from that mindset herself, who teaches mindfulness and who teaches mental wellness, it makes so much of a difference to actually see how different ways of learning can really integrate and penetrate through a society and teach us different things in life. So really, really now looking forward to getting this started and then promoting it around in
Great.
Pakistan.
Good.
So really welcoming you all over here. We've
Thank
got
you.
work to do,
Yeah,
lots of
yeah.
it.
Yes, we do. That's for sure.
That's true.
Well, Paul, so how about we wrap up today? Yes,
Okay.
and so thank you so much, community. Thank you, everyone who's had early mornings, Hina, and people from the US
Yeah.
and Canada, especially, because you guys are up. It's very early morning, fairly for you guys, and everybody across the globe. As I always say, you guys are family to me and my team. Thank you, Team Pakistan, because as I would want to share this with whilst Paul is here with us. These guys are always kind of like sneaking behind the camera, and I'm like the one pushing them off in the front. And I told them, guys, you got to be ready because you guys got to be on the screen with me. So I'm so super happy, guys. Thank you so much, my girls, for being here with me on screen, sharing this time with us, with me and Paul. It means a million. You guys are my strength.
Yeah.
And so, yes, so I'm going to sign off from Karachi, guys. Stay safe, stay home. Asma, based in Karachi. Okay, she's going to sign off from Karachi as well. Almas, where are you based at?
Islamabad.
Okay, so she's going to be signing off from Islamabad, and Wajiha signing off from?
Lahore.
Oh, great. So that's quite probably the whole in the entire Pakistan, guys. Thank you so much for your time and your encouragement, Paul. All thanks to you
Pleasure.
for coming on this journey and joining us on this journey of awakening. I feel for Pakistan altogether for bringing in the mindset, Paul. We're
It's a pleasure.
obliged. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you to you
Thank
and
you.
your team.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
community.
Bye.
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 Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye. Well,
Okay.
it's yeah. uh, I think